year, right? I didn't think I would ever MC virtually. I didn't think I would anchor from my home as well, but we are doing all of that. But this is going to be a rally unlike any other in the past, but we're going to continue to do all of this great work. Thank you. We want to hear from you where you're tuning in from. So we have that chat. I noticed that some people are saying hi to each other using that chat button. So tell us your team name, where you're joining from, where you're making strides. We hope soon that we'll be together again, of course, but this is the next best thing as we're all getting used to this virtual world. Just sharing a bit. It's so wonderful for me to be part of this because I have such wonderful memories. For those of you who've been in the Bay Area for a long time, you might remember Faith Fancher, and she was a phenomenal woman and reporter for Channel 2, and she lived her breast cancer journey on air with all of us. She found out she was diagnosed while doing a story, actually, and sadly, years later, she did lose her battle to breast cancer, but along the way, she inspired so many people to be tested and to be treated, and she was a wonderful inspiration. When I had my mammogram, she was there with me. She was holding my hand and there with me just to kind of help me through that. So we all have those wonderful inspirational stories, and we all have that bold vision today. I'm asking you to join me and make this our reality, more than just a walk. Making strides against breast cancer is a movement. As we know, this movement works online and in person. Online, because of COVID-19, is such an important factor this year. How we unite and fight back this fall is going to look a little bit different, of course, based on your home event location. Our passion to end breast cancer is the same. You might have noticed some of those details popping up on the screen there before we got started, but we will have more of those details when you sign in. You'll get to see what's happening in your specific area. So the Making Strides movement is one amazing show of solidarity. As we all know, for the breast cancer mission, we're so thankful for all of our sponsors that continue to stand with us this year. So just give me a moment to thank all of these sponsors and give them your business, because in any fundraising event, when you see these companies, these names that are sponsoring, make sure you help them, because they are contributing to this. So our big thank you to the sponsors today. Bay Area sponsors are Epic Care, Chevrolet, Diablo Valley Oncology, ABD Insurance and Financial Services, and the Oakland Athletics. Always out there at all of our walks and all of your events. They're so wonderful. Central Valley sponsors are Anthem, Community Cancer Institute, United States Cold Storage, Kaiser Permanente, and St. Agnes Medical Center. In Kern County, the Kern Family Healthcare. Modesto, we have Oak Valley Community Bank and Sutter Health. Thank you to you. Sacramento, thank you to the Pizza Guys and Beckman Coulter Foundation, Siemens, Sutter Health, Wells Fargo, Dignity Health, UC Davis, and again, Chevrolet there in the Sacramento area. In the Silicon Valley area, we want a special thank you to ABD Insurance and Financial Services there. Chevrolet, again, coming through. Pacific Ridge Builders, Stanford Blood Center, Joseph J. Albanese Inc., and Mike Council Plumbing. Everybody needs plumbing, so that's who you should go to. He's helping us. They're supporting us. So here at Making Strides, these sponsors know that they're making a difference in their own communities. Breast cancer is the most common cancer. So when you join the Making Strides movement, you ignite passion to support breast cancer survivors. We are able to unite as a community. So thank you to those sponsors for being here today and also joining us, our team leaders and sponsors, as well as friends and family. So thank you, because you are also the sponsors and the support that our survivors need. Those friends and family, such an important network. So thank you for joining in on that. It's always wonderful to see all those wonderful sponsors and supporters out at the events. I want to show you, they have prepared a short video on why Making Strides of Silicon Valley is a family affair for the Scott family.
Hi, my name is Amanda Austin, and this is my mom, Maria Scott, and we are Team Feed It. we're going to be sharing some fundraising tips with you and let you know why we are making strides this year. So, Mom, why are we making strides?
I was diagnosed with breast cancer 8 years ago, 3 days before I turned 60. Thanks to an amazing medical team from Kaiser, my treatment was completed in 6 months. I was released back to work before Christmas, just in time to make dinner for our extended family of 30.
And today, I'm happy to say that since 2013, we've raised over $70,000 with our team of 4 here, my mom, my dad, my sister, and I. And so today we're going to talk about some fundraising tips for you and how to do that successfully in this virtual environment. So one thing you first want to do is personalize your team page, the Making Strides app, as well as the website. Make it pretty seamless in doing so. So hopefully you've navigated there and you have started both a team page as well as a personal page. The next thing we typically do is send out a mass email. The mass email can be targeted to friends, family, or as I like to do a separate email to my coworkers, which has been a major funding source for me. How about you, Mom?
Well, I send custom emails with a link to my page at the website, and my source of contributions have been my coworkers, because I had a generous employer who contributed 3 to 1 of my contribution.
That's great. So if you do send that email as well as check with HR on employer matching, try to see, of course, if that is okay. And again, many employers do offer that program. I'm quickly putting on their screen here my personal dashboard, which is great because not only does it allow you to easily edit your team page, which we've said is the first thing we do, but once you start racking in that money due to fundraising, after you send out maybe that first email, what's great is that you have a nice list of those who did donate, and you'll see on the right here, you can send out emails thanking people who have donated right here from the Making Strides website. They have great customization or customized, they have their own templates as well as you can customize the templates and make it more personal from you. Another great resource for us for fundraising has been the use of social media. So through the Making Strides website, I'm also able to link to my Facebook page, and there I'm able to send out a message letting people know that I have started fundraising. So hopefully you can see that now on the page. And what's great about this is people can see how much money you've raised, what your goal is. And what I love about this is when you thank people, you can go to their own Facebook pages and put a thank you in there, and then others will see this great cause that either they've donated to or that that you are raising awareness for, and that helps spread the word about your cause. The last thing I want to share is some maybe gifts or incentives you might share for those who have donated. So in the past, my mom makes a mean jam. So we have given away jam as a small token of our appreciation. But if jam is not in your wheelhouse, consider maybe giving baking cookies, or if you offer some kind of service, for example. I teach a virtual kickboxing class that I just started doing free when the pandemic started. And here is an area that in lieu of tips or any kind of payment, I have posted that for the month of September and October, I'm raising money for this great cause. And already folks have been responding and donating. So once you are about a week or two out from the live virtual event, do make sure to send that second and final mass email, letting people know how close you are to your goal. and see if that might generate any last minute supporters. That's about it. I hope everybody is safe and healthy. And on that note, what do you always say, Mom?
Keep on keeping on.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Oh, thank you to the Scott family. What great ideas. Very inspirational. The jam looks delicious. That's a great idea. I love those ideas and some motivation of how you can kind of jazz up your page and get those donations and sponsors in. So fabulous. We also, I want to point out, I was looking down at the chat box. I see that we have almost 100 people joining in, and it's so wonderful. We really, especially want to hear from you survivors. Check in, let us know. It's always nice to kind of see who's here, and we want to know how many years you are in survivorship, and love to give you a little shout out sometime here. So we'll keep an eye on that chat box, but just let us know where you're tuning in from, and family and friends as well. Maybe you've shared this around, and we like to hear from you. Every single survivor, of course, living proof that your fundraising efforts and dedication to Making Strides is saving lives. So it's so great to get those inspiring ideas of how to raise more money. Fighting breast cancer during a pandemic is heartbreaking for so many reasons. We are all dealing with so much during this, and now here in Northern California, the fires and the crazy looking sky, the smoke. But American Cancer Society is facing the reality that it could reduce the ability to fundraise and fund cancer research by 50% in 2020. So like so many causes, it is suffering as well during the pandemic. That's the lowest investment this century if current trends continue. So even more important to get people who are able to support to help join you in this fight. Clinical trials are the leading edge of cancer treatments. Future free from breast cancer is not possible without solid commitment and investment in research. Researchers saving lives in all of our lives right now in what we're dealing with COVID and breast cancer in particular. The impact of COVID-19 on our ability to fund vital research cannot be overstated. This is just such a critical time for everybody. The pandemic has, of course, made some truly intense occasions for the American Cancer Society, which is why it's so important for you to join and fundraise Making Strides, an entire generation of research progress, and the future that it holds depends on what we do right now. And that means right now, what we do right now and what we can help do right now. We're fighting for a future where everyone has a fair and just opportunity to prevent, find, treat, and survive breast cancer, because we cannot create a future free from breast cancer without addressing those health disparities. Now, just to let you know, Black women, 40% more likely to die of breast cancer than white women overall, twice as likely to die if they were over the age of 50. That's when it comes important to reach out to your family, your friends, your neighbors, your coworkers. Make sure they're tested. Early detection is so important, and sometimes it's just a matter of getting the word out to everyone. The American Cancer Society's commitment to health equity includes a $50 million investment in research to help understand cancer inequities and create strategies for overcoming them, but there is more that we can do. I'm here to tell you that the American Cancer Society is not backing down. When it comes to breast cancer, we simply cannot afford to lose any ground. We believe the future can be free from breast cancer, and it's because of all of you. Joining us in this mission to fund the future, where everyone has equal access to care and where we all have the same chances of life, longtime Making Strides supporter, Dr. Irene Lowe. Dr. Lowe, general surgeon practicing out of Antioch, California with Epic Care, a sponsor of Making Strides here in the Bay Area. Dr. Lowe, thank you so much for joining us. Can you talk about that? One of the things to talk about is how has the pandemic affected cancer patients and the treatment and the research?
First of all, thank you to the American Cancer Society for having me join this event. This is an amazing event, and I'm so excited to participate. Pam, that's a really good question. Unfortunately, the COVID-19 pandemic has had a significant impact on how cancer patients are being treated and managed. You know, as we all know, cancer does not stop. Neither do we, neither does the American Cancer Society. But just because we have to manage a COVID-19 pandemic, it doesn't mean that we have to stop caring for our cancer patients. And here in the Bay Area, initially when COVID-19 hit in March, you know, there was a shelter in place and, you know, a lot of services were affected. We were only performing emergency or urgent procedures and services. We were trying to minimize or delay elective things as much as we could. So a lot of screening that would normally be performed for breast cancer, like mammograms and ultrasounds, were not being performed. So, you know, I suspect that there is a little bit of a delay in diagnosis that has resulted from COVID-19. And in addition, as a surgeon, I actually wasn't really allowed to operate for 2 months. I was only allowed to operate on urgent and emergent things. So breast cancer, if it could be managed with alternative treatment, like chemotherapy, hormonal therapy, or radiation, we tried to avoid having our cancer patients go through an operation. We don't know how COVID-19 can affect someone having surgery. And we didn't want to put someone who's suffering from cancer, already immunocompromised from having cancer alone. We didn't want to put them through unnecessary risk. So this has been a tough situation for patients, for providers, for physicians, and how best to take care of our cancer patients. And our hope is that it hasn't been too significant and that, you know, we can catch up and we can continue to treat, manage, and cure breast cancer.
How are we doing in terms of the equality? We're talking so much about social injustice and racial equality, and we have health equity as well in the community. How can we make sure that that is fair and equal for everybody?
So health equity is extremely important. Personally, I believe that healthcare is a human right. Every human being, regardless of their race, their background, everything, everyone deserves the right to have healthcare and to have access to healthcare. And this is extremely important in the context of cancer. If someone is suffering and they need to be diagnosed with cancer, we need to find it. Otherwise, we can't treat it appropriately. And one of my patients is truly a really great example of how important it is to have access to care. She had found a breast mass about a few months prior to seeing me. She had kind of avoided going to see a doctor because she was worried about how much it would cost. She didn't have insurance. She didn't want to take time off of work. It would mean, she wouldn't be making any money, and she needed the money to support her family and for them to eat, etc. And so she waited. Finally, she couldn't ignore it any longer. It was nearly her entire breast. So she ended up seeing her primary care doctor. The primary care doctor sent her to see me. We performed a biopsy, and lo and behold, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. Because of its size and because of other features, we, did other staging studies, and unfortunately, we found that her cancer was metastatic. It had spread to her liver and to her bones, and that was heartbreaking. I mean, she was so upset. She, was mad at herself for not seeking attention earlier. And you know what? I told her, we shouldn't be mad. She shouldn't be mad at herself. We should be mad at our system. People deserve access to healthcare. If we had been able to diagnose her earlier, everything that we could have done would have been for a cure, not just for palliation. So it was very heartbreaking for me to see how we had, let her down.
For inspiration to get involved in Making Strides and spreading this word, what significance does Making Strides play in all of this?
Making Strides is extremely significant. It is an amazing event, and it highlights what the American Cancer Society does for breast cancer. It highlights those who have fought, survived breast cancer, and brings awareness to the important cause. It also gives us the opportunity to fundraise for all of the many amazing programs and services the American Cancer Society offers. I've seen my patients benefit from these services. I've had patients call the 24/7 365 hotline. I've had patients take advantage of car rides to chemotherapy. I've seen patients also get access to wigs. So everything that the American Cancer Society does to support breast cancer patients is extremely important. And anything that we can do to help support the American Cancer Society and celebrate survival is important. And I've been so proud that my practice, Epic Care, has been a longstanding sponsor of the American Cancer Society in this event. So we need to support this event. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you. I know I'm speaking for everybody, and thank you. And you're so appreciated in your care and being a sponsor of this event. Dr. Lowe, Irene Lowe, thank you for that. And we do again have this chat box. So if you do have questions for her, feel free to put those in, because I know that the staff here at Making Strides is going to make sure that we get that information to you, and they're answering. And again, if you're a survivor and you're joining us, share your story, share your team name. We'd love to give you a little bit of a shout out. Just thankfully, the progress we've made has made saved so many lives. The cancer research, the work that Dr. Lowe is doing, we have to keep fueling this, and Making Strides such a big part of it. We need to find cures. We have to fund the future. Our lives are so busy. It's hard at times to think about the future. We're working from home, schools, kids are in the house working from home, but it's vital that we not forget all of this and the work that is being done right now and still needs to be done for you, for your children, for their children, and on. Nobody knows this better than survivors. At this time, I am honored to introduce you to Lorraine Thomas, who is an 8-year survivor from our Sacramento event. Lorraine, thank you so much. You've been so involved in Making Strides. Start out by telling us maybe why it's been so important to you. Oh, I think we need to unmute Lorraine.
Okay, I think you can hear me now, right?
Oh,
Yeah, I'm thrilled to be here. First of all, I'm thrilled to be alive. I'm thrilled to join you today, and I want to give a shout out to all the survivors here, and those especially just diagnosed, because I know this is a time that is so foreign to you and so scary. And I can tell you, 8 years ago when I got that phone call in the parking lot of Rayleigh's, and my doctor, said, "Hey, Lorraine, I'm really sorry to tell you that you have invasive breast cancer." I mean, I can tell you my heart fell to my knees. And when I got home and shared that with my husband, and he got so emotional, I started thinking to myself, I said, somebody has to be the strong person here. So I said, listen, you get on your big girl panties. I said, suck it up, because we're going to do something to make a difference. Because my journey was that it was a 4-year journey in treatment, and I did not want my children or my grandchildren or any of my friends to have to endure what I did. So I saw this sign at the local grocery store that said, "Join this walk, Making Strides Against Breast Cancer." And I thought, I had an aha moment. Here it is. This is where I can make a difference. This is where we can help others. And so I joined that walk that year. That was 8 years ago. And I became what's known as a pace setter. And a pace setter means that you raise $2,500 during that time. And through the help of friends and family, I was able to do that. And I was able to do that all the way through up to this year too. What does that mean? That means that there is more research that is funded. That means there is more care for patients. That means that there is more support in that 24/7 hotline. That is vital, I can tell you, because I've used it. And I also want to share that Making Strides Against Breast Cancer had my back before I even knew it, because unbeknownst to me, one of the chemo drugs that I took was actually researched and funded through a grant of ACS. And that's why in part I am here today, because of that.
wow. That is definitely a statement. I know that's a scary time, and I'm sure people are thinking, yeah, this is a scary moment, and it's nice to hear that support. What about now during COVID and everything's virtual? Do you have
Kind of crazy, huh? Who in our lifetimes ever thought this would transpire, right? So we, every year, our team does a fundraiser, actually a couple of fundraisers. And this year, of course, we had planned in May our Bras for a Cause fundraiser, but it had to be canceled. So, I started thinking, this is crazy. If I can fight cancer, I can certainly find a way to continue to fundraise. And so I put my little thinking cap on and I said, okay, what about, we always have a raffle at our events. Why not have a virtual raffle? So we just implemented social media, and I got together my little group. I call them my little angels who've been with me the past 8 years. And we went to local merchants. Now I can tell you, nurseries are doing gangbuster business. So we hit those first, and they were the first to help donate and offer, you know, gift certificates and buckets of goodies. We went to restaurants who were in need of clients, and they were more than helpful. So I think we got over 30 actually raffle prizes. And then I put a list together, put it out to social media, did mass emailings, and made it super simple to where I gave them the list. They just sent me, and I did the raffle, you know, actually tickets with their names on it. And that's going to take place actually this Saturday, and we're going to announce that on Facebook Live. But I want to share from you, it was like the butterfly effect, right? And just because one person did another person and another person, we have sold. I get emotional over this because this is amazing. And I want to say that every single one of you can do it. We've sold, as of today, $6,400 worth of tickets for this raffle, you guys.
Wow. Brava to you. Yes, a round of applause. That is amazing. There are businesses that are doing well during this time.
Yes, absolutely. And even those that aren't, you know, when you share your story, they have compassion and they understand the need, especially during these times.
What is one call to action you'd love to give everyone who's watching right now?
So I'm kind of like the Nike girl. I say just do it. Don't be afraid. Whatever you can raise. I mean, you don't have to get 32 raffle items. You can get 5 items of restaurants, let's just say, as an example. And you can ask for a donation of $10 and put 1 ticket in the drawing. That's how simple it is.
I love that idea. As you're talking, I'm thinking to myself, because we're all raising money for Making Strides. We probably have schools we're raising money for, other things, and it's I'm thinking about tutoring, online tutoring.
Yes.
Help kids, right?
Exactly. You know, just kind of think outside the box for a little bit. And I know all of us have some sort of resources that we can reach out to, even with ourselves or friends and family. I even went on Facebook Marketplace, and in the new items that people were selling for, you know, $50, $75, I shared my cause and they gifted me those things for the raffle.
Oh, that's phenomenal. Okay, great. I think you have given us so much inspiration, both personally and to help fundraise. Lorraine Thomas, you're amazing. That's great.
So the cause is amazing. I'm honored to be here. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. That's an inspiring story. I hopefully you all are taking notes and inspired now for some new fun ways to raise money. And if you haven't already done so, please go to the makingstrideswalk.org, sign up, start that fundraising now. Never too soon to start fundraising. Get those pictures on Facebook. We heard the Scott family really branching out on social media, and then Lorraine telling us some new ways to fundraise. This is just, as she said, thinking outside the box. We need to be braver. We need to think about new ways to commit to this and making strides against breast cancer. I want to do a little shout out, because while Lorraine was talking, I also noticed that there was the Aztecas Warriors from Kern County checking in. So other team names, if you want to check in who's watching right now and give us your team name. I love to hear who's watching, who's joining us today, and being inspired by all of you as well. At this point, I would like to talk about the many people who are asking and probably thinking, okay, what is Making Strides movement going to look like in October? We're used to all gathering in person for everything in our lives, right? And we're used to gathering in person for the walk. Well, the answer is mindful of health and well-being of all. Making Strides is going to be reimagined, just like the fundraising, in new ways, but it's going to vary depending on where you are, what city, what community you are in. So for some communities, it might mean an organized road rally. For others, it may be a city scavenger hunt, which sounds so fun. Still, for others, it may be a drive-through experience. We've seen those drive-through graduations, weddings. So this could also be a Making Strides drive-through, social distant walking, counting your steps. The key is to know what's planned in your area. So you do have to sign up. If you sign up online at that makingstrideswalk.org, you'll get the very latest information that you need for your area. Simply sign up today, learn about all the exciting ways, both big and small, that we intend to celebrate, support, and fund the future free from the pain and suffering of breast cancer. And that's, the sooner you sign up, the sooner you can share with friends and family and get them in to help support as well. Team Vivian is also joining us. I see that on the chat group. Again, from our sponsors, our team leaders, survivors, fundraisers, our local partners, thank you so much for standing with American Cancer Society. So grateful for all that you do. The Making Strides team here, thank you for including me. I am always inspired by hearing your stories and hearing from you. And I know Gasia Mikaelian, who's also co-anchor at Channel 2, will be part of the breast cancer Making Strides in October as well in some way. So thank you. We have so much to do. So let's get right to work, sign up and start that fundraising. Have a great day and help fund the future.